Hi, Neil from Mighty Little Green Machine. Today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I sharpen chains using my electric sharpener. I'm going to go through the whole process from start to finish, including how to do the rakers, and just kind of show you how I've learned to do it. I am by no means an expert, but I will say that so far I've had great luck with sharpening these chains, with them being sharp and cutting really, really nice. So I'm more than pleased with it. You know, I would probably be fine tuning it more if I was a professional cutter, but I'm not. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at all the teeth. Okay, this is the edge we're going to be sharpening. We're going to be looking at the teeth to find which one's the one that's the most damaged, because the one that we have to take the most off of is the one we want to start with, because that's where we want to set the machine, because we want all the teeth to be equal sizes. So we're going to start with the teeth. And I'm going to show you how I set the machine up. I'm just looking for the right tooth now. I think it's this one. So worst case scenario, if I don't get the right tooth, if I find one that's worse, I just go through and sharpen it again. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay this into the guide. And these all work pretty much the same. Okay, so this tooth is going this way. So first thing is I had to select my disc size. And the disc size is based off of your tooth and the amount of space in there. So this is 3/16 inch wheel. That's the one that works on most of my chains. And actually, honestly, the settings that I use on the cutter are pretty much the same for most of my chains. What I've learned is from watching other videos and stuff, it doesn't make all that much difference. So if you put your profile the same on all your chains, it works out well. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our side to side, our angle, and we're going to go to 30 degrees. And I want to do this tooth, so I want it to go this way to 30. Now remember, where you set this, you're going to change, if you have this off, you're going to change the profile of your teeth. Okay, so I'm going to tighten this down now. Now I'm going to adjust the side-to-side tilt to where it needs to go. And for these chains, I need to go to 60. And like I said, this probably is your most common setup. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to set the holder so that okay, so let me bring you around so you can see this better. Okay, so this sets in and this holds the chain. If you look right now where I'm coming down, I'm way too far away. Okay, so I need to screw this adjustment and move my chain. You can watch the chain moving as I turn it. A long way to go yet. Okay, so I just realized that the last time I sharpened Rakers, so I have the 1/4 inch on there. So if you look, and this is how I know this, see if I can get you down in there close. This grinder doesn't fit without tearing up the Raker on the way down. So I've got to change the wheel to my 3/16. And I just hang all my wheels up there. So let me grab my 3/16 wheel and get it installed, and we'll go back to setting this up. Okay, so I changed the wheel. Now we're going to start. And what we want here is we want this to just touch it. Because if you have it too tight, then, okay, and then the other thing is, this is my depth setting. So I'm going to bring this in a little, because I was doing Rakers before. Because I want this to go to the bottom of the tooth. But what I don't want to do is grind. I want to get it into the gullet, but I don't want to grind. Okay. See, I think I've got this right. So then you lock your chain in with this. Okay, so I'm just touching it. So I'm not going to take too much material off, but it should give me the, it should take care of this is the worst tooth. So let's see what happens. And I'm not going to just grind down in. I don't want to heat this up. I want to just kind of work my way in. Okay. Now I'm going to look at that tooth and make sure I got everything, or do I got to bring it any tighter? The other thing you want to make sure is you don't got a lot of debris in the chain. You don't want to plug up the stone. I think I'm going to bring this in just a hair. So I'm going to loosen my chain. Okay. So now it gets easy because now we've got the setup done. And the setup's going to work in the other direction too, and you'll see that in a minute. But now all I'm going to do is loosen this, bring it forward to the next tooth, lock it in, and sharpen. Loosen it, bring it forward to the next tooth. And again, it's the teeth going in this direction because we're going to go the other way for the other tooth. So it's every other tooth. Some of these teeth are pretty messed up. This is one of the chains I think that I hit nails with when I was trying to cut the stump. Getting a nice sharp chiseled tooth on this. 2 teeth. Now you'll be able to tell which ones you've done because of the, now is that going a little, no, okay. Because they're shiny, but if you don't realize that you've done it already, it's not going to, it just won't sharpen. That's how you'll know you've got it done already. Once you get it set up, it's pretty quick. It's almost therapeutic. Okay, so I finished that direction. So now we're going to loosen this and turn it to 30 degrees the other direction and do the other set of teeth. So now we're going to take this and hit this tooth, and this should be which it is. So see, so what we're doing is, even though we turn direction, we're still set right for here, so the teeth are going to be the same size. God, they're getting sharp already. So now we just do the same thing in the other direction. Pull it tight back, lock it. And again, you're not just grinding in, you're going, taking your time. You don't want to heat the tooth up. Now, honestly, I'm taking so little off that it probably wouldn't, but we don't want to take that chance. It just messes the tooth up. So you get the idea. I'm going to finish this, and then I'll come back to show you how to set up for the Rakers. Okay, so I finished grinding a chain, but this Raker doesn't need to be done. This is a Raker guide, and I can't feel it over the top of the gauge, so it doesn't need to be sharpened or taken down at this point. What happens is, as the teeth get taken down, they get smaller, and the Raker starts to become higher than the teeth. And what the Raker does is that pulls your wood chips through. You don't want them too aggressive, is what I've understood. So I don't need to touch this one. I'm going to go ahead and sharpen the next chain, and I'll see how that one is. I know one of my chains needs Rakers done, but so this one I wouldn't do. If I was going to do Rakers, all I would do is I would bring this back to 0. Okay. I would bring this to 80. and I would put the 1/4 inch wheel on there, and then I would set the depth so it's just taking it down to where it's not going above the gauge. It's really not difficult. And then the same thing, you just do all your rakers. Now the rakers all get done at 0, but you lock it in, you do it. You got to reset up the stopper, right, so that the raker's where it needs to be. But that's just how simple it is. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can. See how the raker's sticking up past the gauge on this one? And I can feel it. So it's too high. Now, this is my absolute oldest chain I own right now, and it's the one I taught myself how to sharpen on, and it was really bad. So I had to take a lot off the first time I sharpened it. So now I've got to go ahead and take the rakers down. They're going to be too aggressive on this chain. So let me show you a couple of things. Okay, so you can do your rakers by hand, and a lot of people do. And all you would do is get your gauge in, tight lock this chain in, and then just file your file over until you get it flat with your gauge. I don't want to have to do that because I have the machine, and the machine will do it for me. So what I'm going to do now is reset the machine to do the rakers, and I've decided to go 90. I don't know why I thought 80 before, but since we do a flat file, and essentially what I'm doing is I'm using the 1/4 inch. It's got a very square head because I'm just going to be coming down. So I got to change this out, which is very simple. I unfortunately or fortunately, I don't leave the guard on mine because it's easier to change. Okay, so we're going to take that one off, and we're going to put the 1/4 inch on. I've labeled all mine with permanent marker just so I can see them better when they're hanging on the thing. Not that it's that big of a deal. There's only 3 different sizes, but okay. Okay, so I've got everything set at 0. Now I've got to reset my guide here because if you look right now, that's going to hit this, and I want it to hit the raker. So as I loosen this, I'm going to pull tension on the chain so that it comes down or moves back. And I basically want to get this grinding wheel centered on my raker. Okay, so that's good now. Okay, now we're going to take the raker guide, put it on there. See about how far it's got to come down. A lot. Okay. So I'm going to start by setting this so it stops at the before it hits the raker. And then I'm going to lower it in. Okay, so now I'm hitting the raker. I'm going to try this and see how far down it goes. What I'm trying to do is I'd rather go not as deep and then bring it down than go too deep. So we're going to try this one first. Okay, I'm not even low enough yet. Oh no, I'm hitting. Oh, that's a problem. Okay. I didn't have this problem before. That may be why it's not, because the head's hitting the thing. Okay, let me figure this out. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got this height set. I had to take my little piece off, which isn't a big deal. And I double checked it with the guide. So now when I put my guide in, I'm perfectly ground there. Might come just out a hair. I'm just going to roll my next one, get it set. Okay, we'll double check it. Once I know I've got it set, we can fly, but I just want to make sure that I'm not taking it too much. I really think I am. It's not the end of the world. Like I said, this is my horrible chain. This is a chain that I practice with. See, now it's not enough. Check you now. Nope, not enough. Like I said, you want to go, that's perfect. You want to go, it's better to be have them too long than too short, because you can obviously make them shorter, but you can't make them longer. Then what I'll do is I won't touch any of my other rakers till I cut with this saw, this chain, to see. To make sure that they're working good. Oops, got a little aggressive there. Now, I'm going to have to look more into my machine now, because I don't think I should have to take off that piece to be able to cut these. Let's double check. Yeah, looking good. Okay, I want to show you what I did. I made it so when this is unlocked, I put the raker in line with the line that I made there, and then when I lock it, the line should be there, and then we're right centered on it. Then it goes much faster. So 2 lines. So this is tough when it's zoomed. I loosen it, I bring the raker to the line where it's loose, I tighten it, and then tighten it, and that should still be lined up, which it is. And then I'm right on it. There you go. Nice, simple little trick. The other thing I do is I wrote down what size chain and what settings I need. Hold on. Which wheel, which settings, which size chain it is. Pretty much most of my chains fall into this one, but that way I don't have to think about it every time. It's very simple. Just a little trick to make it easier. Okay, so a couple of things. Take your time. Make sure you get it set right. If you make a mistake, that you want to make sure that you're just touching the tip of your teeth when you're doing your teeth. You're not looking to take a lot off. What you want to do is, again, find your worst tooth and take that worst tooth back to where it's sharp. And that's what you want to take off all of them. By doing it this way, you're guaranteed to get all of your teeth sharpened to the same. You're able to do your rakers. And this chain is really sharp. So what I'll do is I'll put this chain on my saw, and then I'll take the other saw that I straightened the bar in the other video, and when I go down to cut firewood next time, and I'll take you guys along with me, and I'll show you how the chain works. And we'll do a side-by-side and see what's going on. I'll bring a good chain too, because I don't sharpen chains out in the woods anymore. I bring extra chains with me. It just takes so long, and it's so quick to change a chain, and then you get a nice sharp chain, and then I just collect them, and when I got a bunch, I go ahead and sharpen them. I mean, I've been doing this maybe 40 minutes, not even, half hour. I've got a couple of chains done. If I was just doing teeth, I could have probably 5 chains done by now without changing out. You don't have to do rakers every time, which is good. This particular chain's seeing better days. So that's why I like experiment with it. But thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. And I will see you next time on Mighty Little Green Machine.